Hey everyone, so we have 2 minutes on embalming tokens or embalming cards. So during the Civil War, when embalming was just getting started as a big thing here in the United States, soldiers could have their families make a promise ahead or pay ahead for their beloved soldiers to be embalmed and returned home if they were killed. The National Museum of Civil War embalmers following the Union and Confederate armies around the country were portrayed as vultures. Shocking. Still, people were portrayed as vultures, fattening themselves on the dead. They pitched tents close to battle sites and offered soldiers the chance to prepay for their own embalming should they be killed. But in January of 1865, General Ulysses Grant withdrew embalmers' permits and ordered them beyond the lines because they thought it was killing morale. Most American embalmers had other full-time occupations. They were cabinet makers, furniture makers. So the embalmer could also make his own coffins, which were sold for about $4 or $7 each. In ways such as this, embalming was an enterprise. Cuyahoga County.us reported Thomas Holmes was one of the first embalmers really talked about in the history in the U.S. His competitors charged $50 per officer and $25 for the lesser ranked. Later, their fees were raised to $80 and $50. Average income in the U.S. in 1860 was a bit less than $400. So you're paying almost a quarter of that just for an embalming. The embalmer sold embalmings to the soldiers prior to death, like we said, and they'd be given a card or a token with the embalmer's name on it so that they knew who was going to be embalming them. But the morale was getting so hurt because the soldiers were so frightened of dying and being embalmed. And then at the same time, the railroads began refusing to ship home unembalmed bodies, even those on ice, because of the smell. Even more complications because the number of deaths occurring, it was hard to do this in a timely manner to actually preserve the soldiers. The soldiers began pinning the cards on their sacks, coats, or shirts and wearing metal discs on their name with their name and hometowns noted to aid the embalmer. This became the basis for the Army's later use of dog tags. Little history tip there for you, especially since it's estimated that 54% of the 300 reinterred Union soldiers' bodies were unnamed. This was a big thing. It was estimated that of the 618,000 soldiers that died in the Civil War, about 40,000 were embalmed. Did you know all this?